Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. This is part 2 of our 3-part series on the sacred elements. We recommend watching part 1 first. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you for watching and consider subscribing to our channel. How elements are living inside us, or when I say this way, it is as if it's a part of us. But for instance, fire, we don't have a physical element that is fire inside of us, but you know it, you recognize it directly when you see somebody who lives without fire. And so the element of fire, for instance, is what many depressed people, for instance, don't have enough at that moment. And that their
Yeah,
fire is burning
but
on a very
fire in
like,
our body is metabolism, is the nervous system and the metabolism. So fire in the body is the actual element in the physicalness. And so as you're saying, when you see somebody with low fire, just low metabolism, they're
yeah,
probably
what I meant
sluggish.
to what I meant
Yeah.
to say is that um, when you see a fire, a real fire with wood and fire and get wind, that kind of fire doesn't live within us. And
Yeah, it's good we don't have flames inside. I
but
think it's a
it's
good thing.
yeah, I think that too. But I agree completely with you that when you want to give the fire a physical structures, then we have to go to the nervous system and to the digestive system for part. Digestive system is, for me, every element, a part of every element.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so every human being, we are connected with these elements. And um, I even think we haven't said out loud yet what these elements are. And so we talked about
Oh,
the
let's do that.
fire, the
Earth.
fire, earth, wind, and water. That are the 4 elements of Mother Earth. Did you want to put a 5th element in?
There are cultures that will talk about the 5th element. The 5th element is ether. Ether is the one that oversees and balances all the others. Yes.
Yes. The
Yes.
way Mother Earth is talking about this 5th element is ether. Ether, she doesn't call it herself one of her elements because she says it belongs more not to me than me, and the part from ether that belongs to the earth is already in all those 4 elements present. And
Right.
so that's,
And
but
see how we were talking about, I'm sorry.
that's the way she talks about it. But there are, of course, many very wise people who are, I think, they find it very important to talk about it that way, and that doesn't mean that that is wrong. That's just another vision. And so, and I know also that there are um, native people that make from wood an element also and metal also. But that's just another
Mhm.
vision. It's not my vision, and therefore I don't think it's Robin's vision either. But
It is.
it's
It is mine.
uh,
I use 5.
okay.
I use
So
5.
Robin uses 5, I uses 4, and so that's just another way of looking at it, and not one is better than the other. It's just your
No, they're
personal
both true.
preferences. Yeah.
How I align with, okay, how we were just talking about the spiral instead of everything being a cycle, and just how what we are saying when you and I say the word cycle, we are meaning spiral. We see cycles as spirals. For me, ether is what spirals you up. You When you come back around the cycle, you can go back around that circle, or you can go up a level and you have your next cycle. For me, it is ether that moves us up to the next spiral. And remember a little while ago, you and I personally were talking about Ophiuchus? That's along that same, that's what spirals us up. Anything I see that lies outside of the basic four, just a little bit outside, that'll be what spirals us up. So that's how my 5 elements align with how we approach things.
And in your vision, when Pachamama is speaking with her elements, is there also an element of ether in which she's speaking, like nature things happen, nature
Yes, I
disasters,
see
or
that as how we're talking about how there are higher frequencies coming in. That's Pachamama speaking with ether.
Mhm.
Is bringing ether in, because
Yeah,
there's already the element of ether in each of the elements. So those higher frequencies are coming in through the ether. Yes, that's
yeah, and that's
exactly how I see it.
yeah, and that's exactly what um, um, Mother Earth was saying. Why she doesn't call it a part of hers, because it is a big part of the ether is also not in her, not from her.
Correct.
That's why she doesn't call it hers.
Exactly how I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Um, how, with what do you want to go further with?
Oh, I wanna like kind of go back, because my favorite of everything, all of my excuse me, all of my searchings and my ancient wisdoms, and all, my favorite is to go to the old stories. So I absolutely am very connected. I love when I get to revisit indigenous cultures creation stories, and I got to do that because we were talking about elements. So I want to go back to when we started the podcast this morning, and you were talking about um the 4 elements in the resets that Pachamama has gone through before this current humanity, and how those other humanities prior to us became out of balance in one way or another. There are indigenous stories. The Anishinaabe comes to me off the top of my head, where they speak of when creator when creator was creating the world, it started with the elements. Well, there were 2 sets of twins, and that cycle ended, and then we got to the cycle with the elements, okay? And then she had 4 sons, and the 4 directions and the 4 elements all line. So the four sons are the directions, and the elements are the daughters. And the elements did not get along in the beginning. There were cycles of destruction that define the cycles of creation, where the elements themselves were learning how to get along. And you see, so we are mirroring that, where we in this little world need to learn how to keep my 4 elements in harmony and balance and getting along. So we're not approaching this, you and I are not approaching this as a mental exercise in the brain. We want it to be less of a concept and more of a realization of how directly connected the elements in our body are to what's going on around us, the elements outside of our body. So, in following with Pachamama's journey, there's a necessary cycles of looking at the imbalance that you are existing in that has maybe gotten comfortable, but with everything changing around us is not comfortable. And what do you do with that? So again, it's seeking balance and look at the elements and the world around you is a reflection of what's going on inside you. So, I know it's a really popular thing, this new age idea of decluttering your house. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful one because that is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And if you declutter your space, you declutter your inside, the flow starts to happen. Water and air. Sometimes, fire. That's a great purge. But you know what, Clementine? Happy full moon, by the way. Speaking
Thank
of
you.
elements and all of our connections, happy full moon.
And that brings me towards water.
Yes,
So
indeed.
when we go a little bit, let us talk a little bit about what those elements can bring us in our daily life. And when Robin starts to talk about the moon, then moon, of course, is very much connected to our water and to our ebb and flow. When you look to ebb and flow as a from a little bit above, and then you see that it is in two ways a powerful thing what is happening. And so it is water that coming in and water that is going out. And when you look inside yourself, you have also ebb and flow. You have times that it is flowing inward and it's flowing outward. But what we have learned is that flowing inward is a good thing and flowing outward is not a good thing. But look at nature. We need that flowing inward as going inward, as going the doing the shadow work, where we are talked more about in previous episode. But going inward, it's a time of rest. It's a time of putting your blinds on and don't look outward, but look, start connecting with yourself and ask the questions. How are you doing? What do you want better, or what is not that good for you? And what is flowing in your life and what is not that good flowing in your life. And um, when you go in this way inward, it is regaining your strength, regaining your power. So with the next flow, you can bring all that what you've learned by looking inward, and also that what you did in your shadow work, you became a more beautiful person, and that is what you can bring outward. And that is what we can learn from the moon with her ebb and flow, what we get here on the world, on the earth. and of course, when water and wind are coming together, the wind can push the ebb and flow more inward or outward. It depends, of course, on the direction. But it can also be that you have higher waves, so that your normal ebb and flow, what is in a very gentle, that it becomes a little bit more up and down. And what you can learn from the water is something else also as what we have learned. We have learned to push against everything what makes us feeling not that well. But from the water you can learn is to flow with it and let everything happen what have to happen. And
Water's
when
power sorry. Water's power is not a force. Water's power is a quiet perseverance. Water flows around every obstacle. It flows over, it flows around, but it flows consistently, persistently. So rather than trying to come up against it and resist, flow around. And that is a very powerful teaching from water. Water also affects our emotions. And you were just talking about water and air and that you get the bigger waves. If you go inside your body with that, water is your emotions, air is your thoughts. So you're getting those big waves. What are your thoughts? Maybe you need a new perspective. Yeah.
and for a visual, what Robin just said about flow, water flows around things. Um, um, a river cannot flow a mountain upwards. It can only when it is a mountain in its path, then it has to flow around it. So we are used to climb that steep mountain and complaining that life is so heavy. But why didn't you stay in your flow and let you go with the current around this mountain and just relax and enjoy life? And that's not easy. Perhaps it sounds a little bit easy, but it's only not easy because that's the way we are taught to do. So, and um, um, when it doesn't cost sweat and tears, it is not good enough. And so all those old sayings that it must be hard no, that's not life. Life is not meant to be hard. Life is meant to be in the flow and to let you go there where the flow, your flow, wants to go towards. And indeed, when you are in your flow and started thinking that you are doing things wrong and you are whatever thought you are, yes, your waves will become. And when you are flowing on a boat, then it's possible that your boat capsizes.
It can be pretty fragile.
Yes, and also you have
And
also
also, water is the realm of intuition and imagination as well. So, water, when you're in your flow, and you're not trying to flow up the mountain, you're going around, you stay in your flow, you will experience far more intuitive moments. Very much clarity, very much water
yes,
clarity. Yeah.
and um, what Robin is also saying is that the way we talked about water till now, it's more like the water that flows out your like a river. Water is a consciousness, and that is not where we talked about that much, but Robin started with that. Uh, um, the consciousness of water is incredibly intelligent. Water is as old as Mother Earth herself. So that means 4.5 billion years. Water has an intelligence and a remembrance from all these times. So that water inside of us, the water where you are flowing in, carries a knowledge that is, I cannot say from here to Tokyo because it's way, way further. And so letting your flow in this consciousness, in this intelligence, makes your own water even more intelligent, even more. And perhaps I have to say something very short about intelligence. Well, many people think about our brain intelligence. That is a fraction of intelligence that we can carry. Our brain has an intelligence, of course, but that is what I said, just a fraction of how intelligent human beings can be when we connect with the consciousness of not only the elements, but all consciousness that we can connect with from the earth, but also from the cosmos. I'm sometimes, how do I say it that I really feel it? I often think, how can I know that? And I know that it's not mine, but it seems that it comes out of my brain or out of my mouth. But it's not mine. I know it's Pachamama's, but it is sometimes almost scary what comes out of my mouth because I didn't learn that in school or I didn't learn that with my brain. It just comes to me because I have some connections to way more intelligent beings than I am. Do you want to say something more about the water and perhaps about her consciousness or something else?
That one of the deeper parts of, the water inside, the water outside, and we're not talking of the physical properties of water at that point. We're talking about the consciousness, and there's a reflection, a reflective element in that. And all of the waters inside our bodies, as you just said, hold memory, and there resides the prayers of our ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, perhaps for some people it sounded a little bit as if water is one thing and her consciousness is another thing. It is the same thing, but in another expression. It's our body and our soul. Our soul is our consciousness. That is not something that you can put somewhere. It just lives there. And uh, um, so it is one thing and not two. You can the consciousness of water. It can also be expressed in the water itself by perhaps some people have seen this that an Japanese man was freezing in drops of water and gave that drop of water just before freezing temperature an emotion or a sound or a prayer or all kinds of things. And so then that drop of water froze in a geometrical form, what reflects what that whatever it is, that thought or that sound, or what was reflecting that. And when you understand that, do you know the guy's name? Moto
Emoto,
Emoto, yes.
Dr. Emoto.
And for people who don't know that, just look water drops or freezing Dr. Emoto, and then you will find it.
My kids were little when we found out about this, and I was homeschooling my kids. So we did it as a science experiment. And we took different glasses of water and we put a piece of tape on it and we put a different word on each one. And and then we fed it to the plants.
Oh,
When we put
wonderful.
that water in the plants
And
and
you
the water with love and the positive emotions and all the happy water, the plants flourished. And the ones with hate and envy, I forget what else we came up with, those plants died,
and that's the
those
power
plants that
of
fed
water.
that water.
And
Because we programmed the water with those specific frequencies, and that's the impact. Yeah.
and that's also what your brain is telling you, what constantly is happening here. Are all those negative thoughts are forming your water in that specific way. And when you don't understand why you are sick, that can be one of the reasons why you are sick, because you don't take good care of your water. You say, and also here, it's not about doing, it's about being. You can say, oh, I love you so, I love you so, but when you don't mean it, water is
Mhm.
intelligent. Water way knows way more what you are really feeling than you know yourself, or for many people at least. And so um, taking care on this level for your water is being always in high frequency, and is being always in a loving way towards yourself, but also in yourself first. First fill your glass. When we're thinking about water, then we can also give the example in this way. First fill your own glass with beauty, with beautiful things, by honestly beautiful things about yourself. And so many of us haven't learned to talk in the positive way and in your talents about yourself, but only everything what you cannot do. There are so many thoughts that people have, but try to turn it around and try to where are you good in, and try to live from the heart. And what I said already, first fill your own glass, and everything what is flowing over, and that is for the other, so that you give this beauty also to other people, and then beauty come back. Then we are back in Aini again. And
Yes. I also would like to say right here that these people that I hear that they're always saying their affirmations, "Oh, I love myself, I am enough, I am beautiful." You got your little sticky notes up on your mirror in the morning. That's coming from the brain. That's coming from the brain. That's not coming from the heart, and it's creating more imbalance because your body knows you don't believe that. And so putting those words in there and not doing anything about your feelings and your emotional, psychological aspect, the soul, then you're creating a bigger imbalance because you're just in the brain. Really have to come from the heart.
yes, So water is a big part of us, literally. So about 70% of Mother Earth is water, and also 70% of us. So by taking care just for your water and connecting with it and let it do its work, and it when I'm talking already about 70% of your body, and because I'm not very good in English, I mean 70% and not 17 for people who didn't understand that. So that is almost four. How I even don't know how to say that. You have 4 parts, and 3 parts of it, it's water almost, and not
Three
total.
quarters.
3 quarters. That of course was the word. And so taking care of your water means that you are 3 quarters starting to become healthy or feeling good emotionally. When your water is good, your emotions are better. And so taking care of your water is a very essential thing.
Then taking care of your water, having your water in balance, 70 to 75% of your body corresponding with 70 to 75% of the planet's body. You see, that is the same consciousness. The inner water, the outer water, fixing your inner water has a major impact on the planet's water. So to save the planet, we're working from the inside out, not the outside in.
Yes, yes.
But we're not saving the planet.
She saves herself.
Yes.
And we saving the planet, like Robin said, by saving yourself. We save ourselves, working every day to do that. The world will become the most beautiful place we ever we can imagine. When I'm saying that, I'm making a bridge toward the element earth. I was talking about that the Garden of Eden is coming, or it's not coming, it will be co-created by us humans. Together with Mother Earth, we are co-creating this Garden of Eden, this most beautiful place that in the way that the earth was meant to be and only now is ready to become. That's one of the wonderful reasons why you have chosen to be here, to be a part of that you can experience what it is to be able in this kind of world, but also feeling this kind of love. And so you are when you lift yourself up to this higher frequency and want to be a part of it, you have free will, so you can choose. But when you want to be a part of it, and even when you want to co-create, you must be ready. You're ready in that sense that your energy is on the frequency that you need to be able to co-create. And the bridge towards the element, the earth. It's so, as Robin said before, also, when we talk about the element, the earth, then we talk more about the body of Pachamama. And so it's like our body is the earth for Pachamama, and our soul is Pachamama, what we call Pachamama. And this earth element is also a very intelligent. So connecting with the earth as the body is connecting with you as your body, but it is also connecting with a ginormous intelligence. And think I said it already before. In my experience as an osteopath, I don't know how many thousands people I have touched, of course, with my hands. And I can be still amazed about the intelligence of our human body. And to be able to connect with that, to be able to connect with this ginormous intelligence of the earth, can be amazed about the beauty of this intelligence, but also in the beauty of how nature is. I think that, it's one of the most beautiful things. There are so many beautiful things, but it's to be able to feel that much. That's not a good English sentence, but I have many of not good sentences. To be amazed all the time for so many years. I have done so much connection with the earth. As you've heard probably before, I have a deep, deep connection with Mother Earth. And being amazed by this beautiful being, and I speaking not only about the Pachamama, about her soul, but about her beauty of her body also. And also and not only by the beauty of what I see, but how everything works together, what everything happens underneath the soil so that a flower or a tree can grow there. And all those little parts that is needed for the tree to grow there, and also the connection between one tree with another one, and sometimes it goes in the earth, in the mycelium layers from the earth, so talking, but it also go through the air. That's also a very large bridge to the air element. And so um, connecting with this earth, um, um, intelligent and being amazed is one part. Another part, but I was wondering if you want to say something first.
Yes, I would love to say something. So Earth is yes, I love everything you're saying about recognizing the beauty and the miracles of what we call everyday living. The miracle, just the thought that you and I can pick an apple, cut it in half, eat the same apple, my half turns into me, your half turns into you. That's a miracle. That is a miracle, and we disregard things like that. We say things like everything's sleeping in the winter. We think of sleep as nothing's happening, and that's not true. Sleep is an integration, it's an assimilation. There's a lot of growth happening, and with plants, with trees. In the winter, sleeping isn't nothing happening. Sleeping is things aren't happening above the earth, but below the earth, below the surface of the earth. The roots are growing and becoming deeper and stronger. And and so to consider Earth on that level, that it's just the miracles of the Earth itself, and like we will not experience, like, to taste a strawberry, to taste what an apple tastes like. That only happens here. That is a physical earth thing. We That's not happening in the spirit world. That happens only here. And so with nature, with earth, in our body, earth is our physical form, our organs, and if we take our food in, that physical form of food is usually, it's got earth and water in it. And that can be consciously done to keep ourselves in balance. If the planet is 75% water, our body is 75% water, and we eat food that is consistently 75% water, we're in balance with all all of those elements, all aspects of earth. And again, 3/4 of the way there already.
And what Robin was saying before about in winter time that nothing is happening in the earth, that is the ebb and flow, but a very long ebb and flow. In the winter time, we are here in the ebb phase in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, they are in the flow phase. But it's an ebb and flow from a few months. So it is a process of going inward. It's a process of recovery. It's a process of healing. It's looking inward. What do you want to change in your life? What do you want to learn more about in your life? What are the struggles you are, what you have give time and look deeper inward, that you understand them more and that you can turn it around towards beauty again, towards a higher frequency. So that is our winter time, and that's what we should do in winter time. And I wanted to say, therefore, it's also so dark in wintertime, at least in these areas. And so we have long evenings, we have long nights that we are literally in dark spaces, so literally in the feminine phase, and so that we can go inward, we can clean up our stuff inside also. So, at the shadow work I'm talking about. Everything is reflected in nature. Um, let's say it differently. Everything in normal human life is reflected in nature. And when you want to learn about something, how it works, look in nature. Then you will get your answers. Something else, what Earth also is, or where you can use Earth for, is it's called a new term, or new term for a few years. It's earthing. It's what earthing is. The way they see it, it's the current of the earth, and now I'm not talking about the Schumann resonance. I'm talking about that every cell of the earth has a, 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 a load, an current, and when we walk about on the earth, and when we do that with our bare foot, then our current in our body is taking on this current of this earth, and because we are always walking on rubber soles, or many souls cannot connect with this current of the earth. Therefore, we make way easier, we miss this current, and therefore we make easier inflammations, for instance, inflammation. So when you have a lot of inflammations, and that can be inflammation on joints, that can be inflammations, like cancer also comes from inflammation, like heart diseases come from inflammation. Walk on the earth, make connection barefoot with bare hands, everything bare. Also hug trees with bare arms, bare hands. It's not only you have to walk on grass, everything earth, so also the trees.
Hold a rock. Hold
Hold
a rock.
a rock, yes, of course. So that all can help you with that current, what, because we don't live a very natural life, we miss it a lot, and doing that, it gets fat
Can I
in
add one little practice that I do right here? Um, I'm a teacher, and I have about 150 elementary students a day. And some of those days, by the time I get halfway through, are pretty easy to describe them as chaotic. So when I get there, I can't take my shoes off and go stand in the grass at school. So I have a special rock that I keep in my room in the window, so it's always getting the sun. And I will take minutes in between my classes, my transitions with my classes. Just I will just hold that rock, and sometimes they're particularly chaotic. I'll just have it in my pocket for the rest of the afternoon just to keep me grounded. So grounding is what you call it, earthing, and grounding is very, very powerful. So you can my favorite is barefoot in the grass on the dirt. The barefoot, there's just something that just touches everything. Of course, if you know anything about reflexology, you know why, because every point is there. So putting your feet on the ground, solid, bare feet, that's the most powerful for me. When I can't do that, then bare hands, and I hold the earth in my hands. That's my second. So,
and as Puma has learned us, just make your finger wet, put it into the dirt, and eat it.
can I tell you, yesterday I was hiking with my friend. Hi, Mom. I was hiking with my friend because I know she's going to be watching this. So I'm using you for an example. Um, she stepped off the curb. It wasn't painted. You couldn't see it. So it was like the dark pavement and the dark pavement. And she stepped off, and, it just jars you because you think it's at the same level, and it jarred and felt that pull at the base of the spine. And so I was like, right now, just wet your finger and just take a piece and just touch it. And Pachamama will heal it. I haven't talked to her today, but I know she's going to tell me that it didn't hurt. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely works.
But so eating the earth, and of course we have to be very careful where we are doing that. And so, but and therefore it should be very um, minimal what you take in, but that is a deep, deep, deep connection. And just taste it, and don't start. "Bah." No, taste it. Really taste it, and
Mhm.
everything what you think you have to think, put it away. Just taste it.